The life of a gypsy. The only home Ray Van Horn knows is his trusty RV. He crisscrosses the United States from the streams of Montana to the waters of southern Florida and destinations in between and beyond. It's the life Ray loves. It's the life of a gypsy angler.
Bruce, look at how pretty this is, man.
Beautiful day.
Oh, it's just great.
Glass calm.
This week we're fishing with my good friend Bruce Miller out of the Ocean Reef Club, actually the Anglers Club by Ocean Reef in the Upper Keys. After postponing this show twice,
I know.
now look, it's perfect.
We're lucky.
This is going to be pretty cool. I've known Bruce for a very long time, probably at least 25 years. And the first time we met was actually on a Ranger Boats photo shoot. And not only is he an iconic guide and angler, but he's pretty famous for his photography skills.
Well, it's been, what, 20 years since we last went fishing?
You know, it is, and we've been trying to plan this show for a number of months, and the weather has just been a challenge.
Hurricanes.
Yeah, hurricanes, tropical depressions, but it's looking pretty good today.
Yeah, I think we're going to clear off about midday, but the water's really calm, beautiful.
So I've been looking forward to this for months, and I think it's finally coming to fruition.
Yeah.
So now we have an incoming tide this morning, so we're going to go check on some snook.
Yeah, we're going to go for permit, bonefish, snook, and tarpon.
Got it all here at Ocean Reef, man.
That's called a super grand slam.
Yeah, with a spinner.
We might as well try for more than what we can get.
Yeah, always. I've never really fished this part of Florida before. I've fished the lower Keys, the middle Keys, and I've always wanted to fish that Biscayne area. Fish with Bruce around Key Largo and the upper part of Key Largo. And you know, you've got the ocean, you've got the bay, there's a lot of options there. And a lot of people think that in that environment, you've got to fish it out of a skiff. And I'm here to show you on film that we filmed it out of a 25 Bay Ranger, and it was spectacular.
During the spring, some tarpon come in here like early March, beginning of March, but they're all over 100 pounds, all the breeding females. And they're difficult to catch, but we jumped a 140-pounder on fly.
So we pull into this first spot with Bruce, and it's a channel off of a point. And on a hard falling tide, typically there's some really good tarpon action there. How big are these tarpon?
They're around 30, 40.
Okay, I'm gonna use this. And I'll throw that MirrOlure 65M out there. And if you're not familiar with the 65M, it's essentially a 1 ounce fish form jig. It looks like a fish, but it's, you know, it's actually, it weighs an ounce and you can fish it like a jig. And I was trying to catch tarpon and I wound up catching some just great, great mangrove snappers.
There he is. That's Pooh. There might be a
Grouper.
group. Oh yeah.
You won't believe, a big mangy.
Big mangy.
Look at this.
Dude. Having a mangrove festival right here. Check that one out, buddy.
Wow, that's beautiful. We got purple fins.
I got it. I got a big one. I don't know what it is.
I gotta get him away from the mangoes. Small?
Big old snapper, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. A huge mangy.
Uh-huh. I see dinner in the future with you, dude. I'll take that. Check that out. Let's put him in the refrigerator, Bruce.
Okay.
Uncork the lid.
Look at that beauty, huh? Oh.
All right, so the tarpon didn't cooperate, which is what tarpon can do most of the time. And we went to another cut that Bruce knows intimately. And man, the current was just blasting through there.
So you see where the tide really picks up? Because the sun's where it is, we might see a flash out there. Look at him flash. He got it.
Yeah, that's how you do it right there, artificial man.
Look at the swirl.
Yeah, nice one.
All right, isn't that beautiful? This is a nice 15-pounder, I'd say, maybe 20.
How were you working that? You just threw it out in front of him and let
yeah,
it go to the bottom,
he went down
right?
to the bottom to grab it.
You're still running with the school.
Tide just changed. There's a school of fish here. Look at the school. Right, there's some barjack in there too. Wow, that was beautiful. You know what? It's a yellow jack.
Is it?
Yeah. These are the only ones in the jack family other than permit that are good to eat. And he took a shrimp. All right, we got a yellow jack. Big fish.
Guys, a nice
12 pounds. What a beauty, a lip locker. Wow, look at that. What a beautiful fish. See the marbling?
Yeah.
That's what they do when they're lit up. Beautiful.
That's a gorgeous fish right there. He ate that holographic shrimp.
Yeah, they're the best fish you can eat for sashimi.
Really?
Best. Yeah.
So we're gonna tank this guy.
We're gonna have him for dinner.
Sweet, I've never had one of these. Looks a little bit like a Jack Crevalle, but it's got all this mottled
kind of like an amberjack too, you know?
But they call this a yellow jack.
The yellow jack. Their tails sometimes are more yellow, but this modeling gives it away.
Yeah, it's a cool looking animal right there.
The Gypsy Angler with Ray Van Horn is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evan Root E-Tech, 300 hours, no dealer scheduled maintenance. Camp Light Truck Campers, no wood, no rot.
Okay, here we are. Beautiful sunrise. Day 2. And we're looking for tarpon rolling. We're gonna try for a Grand Slam today. Why not, right?
You know, it's the opportunities in the Keys, especially this part of the Keys, are pretty unique. I mean, you can get a super slam on artificial if all the planets line up.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have 2 days to do this, so first thing this morning, you brought me to this great spot. This is a channel leading into the ocean on a fallen tide.
And we jumped 2 tarpon here the other day.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll jump a couple this morning. So.
Just saw a roll. Hopefully they'll stay in here. You know, it's the last of the outgoing, and that's when they come in here.
Works for me. Now the sun's getting right for a little sight fishing. And this is where all the technical people are going. Really, you're going to try to catch bonefish and permit out of a 25 bay boat with a power. Well, the key to that is, number one, you want to mute your metalworks. You want to, you know, my boat's got a powder-coated black metalworks, and so you don't have all that flash and that shiny rigging, and that's the key. If you're going to fish out of a big boat in shallow, clear water, you want to tone it down. I can get pretty close in clear water to fish, and you're going to see why. And Bruce took us to one of his favorite permit spots, and there's also some bonefish there as well. And we pulled up on this spot, and I mean, there were, I don't know if there were a couple hundred permit there, but there was a lot. And you know me, man, I like to catch them on an artificial, so that's what it was all about. And they were flashing everywhere. So I tie on a bait that looks like a crustacean or a crab, and it's actually a bass lure that Strike King makes. It's called a baby rage crawl.
You folks at home, you're probably saying, that looks like a crawfish. And you would be right. And this is a green pumpkin configuration. This is actually a bass lure. The bass guys call it Bama crawl. And it is very, very crabby-like. Bass eat it, and oh, by the way, bonefish smoke it. And then the coup de grace is real blue crab procure. That's real blue crab scent. That is smoking good stuff right there.
So I'm tossing out that rage crawl. I'm working it along the bottom nice and slow. And remember, you're trying to emulate a crab or a little lobster. And I'm throwing it in a mass of permit. And all of a sudden, I get just torqued on.
I got a fish.
My reel is just screaming.
Bruce Miller. What? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's all safe stuff out there.
Uh-huh. Ate the Bama crab.
I'm thinking I've got a big permit because I mean, I'm throwing in 50 or 60 of these things. So I figured, well, you know, I got one.
You know what I hope it is? A permit. We're going to tell in a few minutes. But this might be a, you know, mutton, which would be fantastic.
I gotta go back, I gotta go back.
The thing makes an awesome run, then it runs back towards me, and instead of this permit shape, I'm seeing this elongated shape.
I got a bonefish. I got a monster bonefish.
Oh my gosh.
I got my bone, dude.
All right.
Look at that.
That is a big one.
Look at that big bonefish, dude. Dude, bonefish.
Way to go.
Bam. Huh?
It's not just a little bonefish.
That is my largest bonefish, dude. Got it?
So we finally get this fish up to the boat, and he's not a mandy-pandy small bonefish. Thing's 8 or 9 pounds.
Can you believe it?
And he's got that rage crawl right here. And, you know, I mean, I was shaking. I was shaking. It's the largest bonefish I've ever caught on an artificial, ever.
Isn't it beautiful? Look,
Yeah.
Run your finger across his eye.
Why?
I'll show you something. It's actually streamlined with,
It
with
is.
fluid.
That is awesome.
This is not any ordinary bass lure. It's a rage crawl. I mean, it has more motion and more action, and that's why I use it. And even when you're working it subtly, the thing's alive. And it's just an awesome bait. And it wasn't shortly after I caught that one, Bruce throws out, back-to-back casts, mind you, and he catches one, probably 5, 6 pounds. Get him, Bruce! Get him, man! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about! Yeah! You don't think that's a permit? Dude, look at these smoking.
It's a very strong fish. I hope it's a permit.
It is, isn't it? Well, it's either that or a bonefish.
It's fighting stronger. That's wonderful. I don't care what it is. Tenacious like a permit, but guess what?
It's a bone! It's a bonefish, dude! Another bonefish!
This is a bigger bonefish. It's the same size. Wow.
Dude.
He's a little green. Use the pectoral fins to put a Nelson on him. He'll flip right out of your hand. Oh, right.
So back-to-back casts, 2 beautiful bonefish. I'm telling you, man, that's not a bad way to start the day.
Yeah, what a beauty. You know, they have air in their dorsal fin. Can you see it?
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Cool.
Goodbye, bonefish.
Dude,
We both caught one.
that's awesome, man. On Artie's.
The Gypsy Angler with Ray Van Horn is brought to you by St. Croix Rods. Fish now, do everything else later. Frigid Rigid Coolers, the last cooler you'll ever buy. Miro Lure, turn on the bite anytime, tie on a Miro Lure. Torque Lift International, the camper tie down and suspension of Gypsy Angler.
I'm used to catching permit on a wreck, but catching them on these flats is so cool because it's so visual and they can't run you down in the garbage. You can get trapped into thinking that being around a mass of permit's a good deal. The problem is they have large eyes. They scrutinize everything. And Bruce is throwing a live crab in there, and I'm throwing artificials because that's what I do. And they won't even touch a live crab. But the problem is the more permit, the more eyes, the harder it is to fool the masses. So Bruce says, I've got a spot where there's not as many permit, and they're usually 2s and 3s, and you know, they're smaller groups. So what that does, that allows you to fish these fish, and they're not gonna scrutinize the bait as much because there's not as many eyes.
Right.
Yeah, get him, Bruce! Yeah, baby!
That's a permit.
All right! It wasn't very long, and here comes 2 permit and something else. There were like 3 fish. I couldn't make out the 3rd one. Well, we both throw out there, and we double up. I don't want to mess you up.
That's okay, they're all over the place.
Okay.
I got it.
What?
I got him, baby!
A double hitter.
Well, Bruce's fish, sure enough, he's throwing a live crab. Sure enough, he's got a permit, and I wind up getting a really cool mutton snapper. Now I got mine on a cricket. Going under. So I don't catch a lot of mutton snappers, and they're a beautiful fish. Well, obviously I thought I had one of the permit. I mean, I threw it right in there in the group, and you know, there's 2 permit and something else. Well, I get the something else, and it's that mutton snapper, and it was a beautiful fish. Of course, I wanted a permit.
I'll break mine off so you can get that.
No, don't break yours off. I'm just gonna tank my mutton.
This is called persistence.
All right, I'm gonna show off my mutton.
I caught this on a bare hook. This is a beautiful
Back
little
in the
pearl.
pool.
It's about a 10, 12 pounder.
Look at that, dude.
Look at how strong there. Look at that, finning. Oh,
That's a good sized fish, right?
yeah, probably 12, 15, something like that.
Oh. There he is.
Look at that, oh. It's one of those crayfish. Wow. All right.
Dude, Bruce, that's fantastic,
All right.
man.
You
2
did
days.
it.
Oh, you did it. To double up, and that's really kind of weird. I don't know if that's typical. Obviously it happens, because I mean, there was 2 permit swimming, and there was a mutton snapper, wound up being the 3rd fish. And you know, I don't fish those fish a lot, so I can't really tell you that that's common, but it was really cool. Whether you catch a permit or a mutton snapper, it was a nice mutton snapper. I mean, it was a beautiful fish. And you know, just another one off the bucket list. That's beautiful. Bruce, you put me on 2 days of awesome fishing. Now this is the Upper Keys, and I can tell you that the environment up here is just like the rest of the Keys. You know, the water is so clear and beautiful and pristine. I mean, you can see everything forever. That environment is very, very special, and we really need to take care of it, because it's a real treasure. And there's some great organizations out there that help with that. The Bonefish Tarpon Trust, for one. CCA, the Coastal Conservation Association. I highly recommend that you hook up with one of those, one or both of those organizations, because they're all about preserving the environment and the sport that we really love.
The Gypsy Angler with Ray Van Horn is brought to you by Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective. Blue Point Fabrication, if you can dream it, we can build it. Dick Norris GMC, the preferred truck dealer of the Gypsy Angler. Bob's Machine Shop, go fast, go shallow, go efficient.
The Key Largo Biscayne Bay show, I utilized 2 outfits primarily. When I was casting that 65 mirror lure, which is a 1-ounce sinking bait, essentially a jig, I was throwing that on the St. Croix Avid medium heavy 7.5-foot conventional rod, and I was also using a 13 fishing bait casting reel. Long cast, wonderful smooth drag. I can put a lot of heat on those fish. So in the event I would get a tarpon or you know, a large fish, I could battle them with that rod. And also it caught all those big snapper. It caught the mangrove snappers. It caught a couple of the mutton snappers as well. So that's a great lure choice whenever you've got to go a little deeper in the water column or current. When I was making really long casts to the bonefish and permit, I was utilizing St. Croix's 7.5-foot Avid medium action spinning rod with a 3500 series Canyon spinning reel. And that's what I was delivering the baby rage crawl, which is what we caught those bonefish on. You heard me right, it's a bass lure, baby rage crawl. And it was actually in kind of what they call a Bama color, which is some oranges and some greens, green pumpkin. And it also used that with the new holographic shrimp bait from Tsunami. Another great bait for that application. So that was it, 1-2 punch, try it out. I'll tell you what, the Ocean Reef facility and the Anglers Club facility where Bruce guides out of, he's one of the best guides in the area, and he's been doing it for 45 years. And it's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, that place has got great restaurants. It's, you know, everything you want. There's obviously some great places to stay there. You can take your whole family. He fishes with natural bait and or artificials. He's one of the best fly guides on the planet. So no matter what discipline you want to utilize, Bruce is your guy. I mean, he's a prince of a man. He's a real gentleman. He's a world traveler. He's been all over the planet. And he lives right there in the upper part of the Keys. And it was a special treat to be able to fish with him and spend a couple of days with him.
All right. Double.
That's awesome, dude. I'll tell you what, folks, fish hard. Remember, you don't get this day back. And I'll never forget this one. It was epic, dude.
That was great.
Appreciate you. All right.